So I just bought Amazon renewed Apple MacBook Air and a Mac Mini, which are in this questionable box over here. And I've got a few questions, maybe you have as well. Like, is it worth it? What's the quality? Warranty? Should you get it? Should you not get it? Should you buy them renewed? What does it all mean? Let's go. So firstly, it's an ASOS box. So this is some clothes company online, and both of my products came in a ton of bubble wrap, just wrapped into each other. So what I got in the box was the Apple MacBook Air, and I got the gold version. Then the Mac Mini, there's a little scratch something over there and something over here. And then the cable accessories, which here's where things get a little bit interesting. I bought them from Amazon UK, but this over here is not a UK adapter. This is it is actually real Apple one though, but this is a US adapter. So for some reason, my MacBook Air, I'm not sure if this one came from the US, but at least the adapter is from the US with just this simple travel adapter. And then we've got a cable for the MacBook charger. There's no branding on it, so I don't know if this is legit or if this is a third-party cable. And then the power cord for the Mac Mini. This is definitely not original. It doesn't really matter if this is original power cord, because we're saving a ton of money. Talking about saving money, the M1 MacBook Air, so this is about 4 years old now. Right now I can see on Amazon I could pick up one of those MacBook Airs for £826, which is quite expensive. It should be cheaper, but that's what VAT does to you here in the UK and in Europe. Because I'm a business, I can also claim back the VAT, so I can have this laptop without the VAT. So if we take the VAT off from that, I paid £494.83 for this, which is a 41% discount compared to the original. Now, if you do have to pay VAT, it's only going to be a 28% discount. Looking at the M1 Mac Mini, the new one costs around £543.82, what I can see on Amazon. Without the VAT, I can get it refurbished for £395.83, which is a 27.2% discount. Now, if you do have to pay the VAT, then you're going to pay £475, which is 12.7% discount. Is it worth it? Well, to me, one of the deals seems a little bit better than the other. So if we are looking at the MacBook Air, it was in a very good condition. There is a tiny little scratch on the, I'm not sure if you can see this here. A few scratches all over around, but generally like in a very, very good condition. And if we look inside as well, super, super good. I can see tiny little dent in here. Screen in perfect condition. Trackpad, keyboard, I've got absolutely no issues. It's very, very good. Now, it's very important that when you get your Macs, when you buy them from Amazon, that you would check the SSD health, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. Now, looking at the Mac Mini, here's some interesting things. It doesn't look very, very worn and looks good around here. There's a little sticker underneath. There's two stickers underneath, but on the sticker, it says Mac Mini M1 8 GPU and 512 gigabyte SSD. I paid for 256 gigabyte SSD and 8 gigs of RAM. So I might have accidentally got myself just an extra $200 upgrade for free. I don't know if this is true yet. We're gonna have to turn it on and check the SSD health as well. If that happens to you as well, you've just won a little lottery. But it's very important you understand why you need to check the SSD health. Because Apple Macs have soldered SSDs inside there, so you can't just swap them out. And if this fries, your whole system's gone. Data, everything's gonna be gone, right? So SSDs have something called the terabyte written spec, which basically means terabytes written per 1 terabyte basically. And SSDs consisting of tiny little cells, and those cells can be filled with data and emptied with data a certain amount of time. That's the warranty period. So if you look at the Samsung 980 Pro, Samsung 990 Pro, or Western Digital drives, they offer a 600 terabyte written spec for 1 terabyte drive. So 1 terabyte drive, you can fill it and empty it 600 times, and that's the end of the SSD lifetime. Now, when you go down in SSD size, then you're going to lose the terabyte written spec as well. So 1 terabyte is 600, 512 is going to be 300, 256 is going to be 150 terabytes per, SSD life cycle. So my MacBook Air has 150 terabytes of life when it was new, but we want to check how much this has been used to know if this refurbished deal is actually worth it. And when you're getting it, you need to actually consider that as well. And the same with the Mac Mini. If I got the 512GB SSD model, then this one actually has a 300TB written spec, which is a very, very good option. Now, here's an interesting clause though. If they gave me a free upgrade because the SSD was more used, or, you know, the terabytes written specs were already kind of used as much for a 256, and they gave me a 512 kind of for free to make up with it, then it kind of makes sense, but I still want to test it out. But if you want to update or upgrade your storage on your Macs, the best way and the cheapest way possible, I've got a full video on the channel how to upgrade it for much less than what they offer from the factory. Now let's turn these on and check out the SSD healths. Okay, I've turned these Macs on now, and there's some very interesting news. The MacBook I've actually been using for quite a while now. I reset that one. There's very interesting things there to find as well, but we're going to start with the Mac Mini right now, and I'll show you how to check some of the drive health. So first of all, the Mac Mini, I wanted to check if I actually got the free $200 upgrade, and would you look at that? Boom, voila, I got it. 500GB. So thank you very much, Amazon refreshed. So that sounds good to me. So this has come with some kind of pre-loaded OS. So when turning this on, this wasn't like turning on your new Mac. So you didn't start to like put in some of your Apple ID and say which keyboard and which language and region and so on. So this is already set up for some reason. So I don't know what's running in the background here, if Apple ID, looks like Apple ID is not signed in onto this one, but I want to check out the drive health on this one as well. So what you want to download is a Drive DX from Binary Fruit. So you go binaryfruit.com, Drive DX free download. Once this is downloaded, we'll go our downloads folder and then just drag this into applications and now open it. All you have to do is try now and then press yes on this here. Overall health, 0 issues found, very, very good. The error counts, everything seems to be very, very good working order. One of the main things we want to check is this one. How much data has been written? So this has only got 3.2 terabytes of data written. That is extremely new. That is like almost nothing. So bear in mind, this is 512GB, so this has 300 terabyte written kind of spec on this one, like I mentioned. And I've only got 3.2 terabytes written. That is like very much new. So I don't know how someone was using this before me, if they were using this before me, or perhaps they replaced the SSDs in there. I don't know what lengths they went to actually refurbish or whatever they did there. Maybe someone was just using this for web and just doing very simple like emails and things like that. I'm super happy. If I would have seen like 150 there terabyte written, I would have been like, okay, at least I got the extra, 512GB. So this looks like very, very new. The power on time looks like 152 hours, which is what, 7 days, something like that? 6 days, 7 days roughly, which I'm not sure if it's able to actually be replaced all of this smart data in there. Because what I did with the MacBook was I completely reset the Mac, like put the new OS on, basically reset it, everything again, and I checked the terabyte written data again on the MacBook and it didn't change. So you really have to do some very complex things to reset it. So I'm not sure if they're able or knowledgeable how to do that. I couldn't find how to do it online. This Mac Mini looks like an incredible deal because that is very, very new details in there. Let's check out our MacBook here. Drive DX here loaded as well. And you can see this has about 5.6 terabyte written. So a little bit more than the Mac Mini actually, but still very, very good. So the 150 terabyte written spec were maybe 3%, maybe slightly more, 3.5% used of our, drive's life. So I'd say this is, again, incredible deal. Everything looks okay here on this health, and that looks amazing. Now, another thing when we're taking this MacBook Air out is we want to check out the battery capacity. So perhaps this has been used loads and we can see that the battery is gone, but if we are checking the battery, all we have to do is go to System Information, and then under there you go to Power, and then under the Power what you can see here is the health information. Cycle count looks 20, and on condition is normal, and maximum capacity is 99%. So for somehow they have only charged this MacBook up 20 times, which I'm not sure how this is possible. So I've charged this MacBook maybe a couple of times, 3 times I think. So I've added 3 cycles to there, which means it was 17 before me. There's plenty of battery life and health left on this one as well. So looks like I got an incredible deal. Absolutely insane. So the MacBook, what was it, 40%, something like that discount with this, it's absolutely insane. In fact, when I've been using this MacBook Air for the last week, 2 weeks, something like that, and when just doing emails and something like you would do on it, emails, simple light tasks, browsing the webs, answering, writing, things like that, it's absolutely incredible machine for that amount of money. I don't think it's possible to get the better quality and price to performance ratio on a laptop like that. That's absolutely insane. In my opinion, right now, I think checking out those refurbished things or renewed things or refreshed things, however they want to call them, is a very good idea. Especially because this has a 1-year warranty as well. So I checked out the Amazon renewed guarantee, or what it says there. It says that from the point of purchase, I have 90 days to return the product and then a 1-year guarantee. If something happens to the device, I'm able to get it replaced or I think money refunded as well, what it said there. So I'm getting basically the 1-year guarantee that I would get from Apple anyway. You know, Apple gives you 1-year warranty. So I'd get this with my refurbished one as well, plus insane discount. And if I don't like it, 90 days, I can return it, which is longer than what Apple offers, I believe. Apple's like 2 weeks, something like that. One last very important tip that I want to make sure that you check out before you actually purchase something renewed is check out the new pricing and then the renewed pricing or the refurbished pricing, because some of these models were kind of didn't make sense refurbished, or the refurbished was even more expensive than new, or there was maybe $50 difference between refurbished and completely new, which makes me think just go with a new one and you can get even a newer model or something like that. I'm going to leave the links in the description below if you want to check these out, but I think these M1 models, especially now, I know this is 4 years later, it's incredible deal. Check them out, and I'm very happy with my purchase. Have you used their services before? I'd love to know your experience in the comment section below. And there's some PC build guides in the description below if you're interested in building a PC instead of, you know, doing the Mac thing. I'll see you soon.